The landscape is cleaner than a newborn baby's butt. Well, cleaner than mine anyway. Today I'm in the Woodyard. We got a little cleanup on aisle 1. We got cookies and chunks we got to get rid of. We got debris to get rid of. We got a couple logs to cut up over there yet. Time to clean up my mess. Look at that, a weenie saw for a weenie job. All I got to do is cut up these pieces that we missed here, little branched size pieces. Get those cut up, throw them over there. We'll get those split. I'm going to get all this debris picked up. We're going to shovel that in, scoop it up into the bucket and go dump it. So I'm done with the splitter. I'll put that away. And then we're going to take all these. I brought a tote up here. We're going to fill this big one up. This is a bigger tote. That's a smaller one because that little one would have been near enough because there's a lot of small stuff, a lot of oddballs in here. So that's all going to get tossed in for Birtwood. And then we're also going to pick up this little bit right here from when we ran the processor just to make sure everything was working right on it, because that's going to happen real soon. I think maybe tomorrow we'll do some processing, maybe the next day. So anyway, we're going to get all this stuff cleaned up right now. There it is, the big 540 XP. It's small. I'm spoiled. What can I say? I got to tell you, when I cut with this, I get more tired than when I cut with my 572 or 592. The big saws just do all the work for you. All you got to do is pick them up once in a while and set them down, and they cut through stuff like butter. This one I had to work at. When I see guys, cutting on YouTube, where you see them in their yard, you're driving by and there's some guy out there, in his flip-flops and shorts, no helmet, no ear protection, no eye protection. He's got the saw just a smoking and he's rocking. And then, you ask him why he doesn't like to cut wood. Well, it's because you got the wrong saw, the wrong tool. This is not for this. This is for limbing, for cutting small stuff like this. It does fine on the little, little 2-3 inch stuff. Anything more than that, not so much. Or if you're just cutting soft wood like pine or something, wood that you can basically pinch apart. If you want to cut hard stuff, this is elm, this is ash. I saw some box elder in here. There's a piece right there, that's a piece of apple wood. That cuts hard. It's not like cutting pine, or it's just like you're cutting butter. And this thing was working, and that was working, just on this little bitty pile here. So anyway, we got that cut up. So now I think what I'm going to do is we're going to back the splitter over here. We're going to split these up into the bucket. Then I got some stuff over there we're going to pick up and go dump that. And then we're going to clean this whole area up. I'm going to get out the magic rake and the magic shovel, and I'll scoop up what I can, get this raked up and cleaned up, and this whole area will be all pretty. Can't do that with too many splitters unless they're little bitty ones. So I thought, seeing as I just have this little small batch of splitting here, I'd do a little talk about what I do with the splitting, with the resplits here, or the splitting of the small stuff. I do split everything, and I mean everything, even the little bitty ones like that, because I want them to be dry. Don't want them to not have any moisture in them. I want them so they're ready to go. And a lot of my customers like small splits. My number one complaint I get is the splits are too big. They want smaller pieces. So I supply them with that, because I'm not selling to boiler people or people with big wood stoves. I'm selling to people for fireplaces, fire pits, and very small inserts, things like that. So when I'm splitting with a single wedge like this, like I am, usually just one pass with these small ones, and even if I've got a bigger one, I just split it and then flip it back around and split it a second time, stacking them. A lot of times I'll do two at a time, you'll see. But when I'm splitting, I'm sure you guys know too that you kind of read the wood. You try to figure out which end is the best to put in here. I think I'll do this one. Yeah, I'd put this one on top here. So that's what I do a lot of times. I just do a second split like that, and it works out pretty good. That was a piece of popple, it looks like, or aspen. Here's a double. I try to do a lot of those, try to line them up best I can, all this little stuff. Some people say it's not worth the time, but my customers really like it. They love the small stuff. That's what they ask for more than anything. If I deliver a load to someone that is used to getting small stuff and I have just a few big ones, and they're like, whoa, I'll have to split these down. They're so big. But yeah, this is, you can see it, the wood is pretty dry already. This is all small limbwood type stuff from the tree job we did way back behind the tractor. You can see the trees back there. That's where that came from. And some of this is from a job, a load that I bought close by. So a lot of small stuff will dry up really quick. But yeah, I use a single wedge most of the time because with resplits, a lot of times you're dealing with knotty stuff or crotches and things like that. And with a four-way, it just doesn't work. You can use the wings on the side somewhat, but it's better to just use the single one. Seems to work really good. Another thing that has come up, a lot of people are asking me about my wedge. How come I don't sharpen it? Well, I did like a year ago, and it was so sharp I cut myself on it a whole bunch of times, reaching across. Just all you do is just brush it with your arm, and it was very sharp. And I know a lot of people asked Andrew Easton about that. Why don't they sharpen theirs? Because all the guys were getting cut in the shop. Because you can sharpen them really good if you want. And it splits just fine, even with a few nicks on there. Once in a while, I suppose I should go and touch it up and take some of the things out of there that are, the nicks you can see. Somebody asked me, how that happens. Well, sometimes you're gonna split a piece and you don't see there's a nail in there. Ooh, the camera's sliding. There's a nail in there, or a bolt, or you'll hit a chunk of something hard. I mean, sometimes there's a rock in a crotch or something you'll split. It can do that. A piece of wire can do it. Staples from fence lines, all that kind of stuff can cause problems like that. You try to see them all, but you can't. There's always surprises. And we had one the other day that had a piece of conduit in it, which was interesting. So yeah, it's nice splitting right into the bucket like this off of the splitter, because I try to keep a little separation between the end of the table and the bucket, and that way the debris, bark, dust and stuff like that can just fall down to the ground between the edge of the bucket and the end of the table. That works pretty good. And then just tossing the pieces in. And yeah, so it works pretty good. This is a piece of box elder here. You can see it's a crotchy one. See how it's all twisted up that is? That would have been almost impossible with a four-way, where you just mashed it up. But with a single wedge, you can kind of chisel away at it, and you can take off pieces a little bit at a time and actually make an ugly piece of wood look halfway decent. Now, that's one thing I also want to mention. A lot of people say, oh, these are These are the ugly pieces. These are the crotches, the knots, the fuglies, as a lot of people call them. Well, the thing is that's some of the best wood there is. Where you get the joints and the crotches and stuff, that wood is super dense there because it's trying to hang on to the tree. So it's good stuff. So a lot of people don't like it, but for burning, it's going to have a lot of heat in it. So anyway, we're going to get busy here and speed things up a little bit. totes are full, and the landscape is cleaner than a newborn baby's butt. Well, cleaner than mine anyway. There it is. It's all cleaned up. That felt good to get that done. And I'm thinking that tomorrow what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to work on this stuff right here. This is oak, and oak needs to get split because it takes a while to dry. A lot of this is dry already, so I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to do some sorting on this. I'm going to pull out the big stuff. We're going to start setting it over there so it's ready to be processed, and I'll take the little ones, set those to the side because they're pretty dry already. And that's what I think is going to happen. That's going to be tomorrow or the next day. One of those two. We'll see what my schedule looks like. You're going to come on back and find out. 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll be here. You should be here. Right now, you should stay right where you are. Click on the next video. There's 1,300 waiting for you on my channel. Good night, Irene.